This is the review for last week's lecture, week 12 lecture. Also, I'm talking about one new assignment, and I want to discuss our essay that is due next week. So last week we spoke about video art, and first we talked about this, a great film or video that tells you the time of day as you're watching it, and the video is 24 hours long. We spoke about the history of film and mechanisms of taking a bunch of photographs in a row. This was an early animation machine called the Zoetrope. This is the machine that really led to cinema and, you know, to cinema and, what would become video art. This was invented by Thomas Edison, and it shows the series of images on film, and it flashes in front of your eyes if you look into the machine. I wanted to iterate that film is, in fact, not a moving image. It is a series of still images. So consider the week prior where we were speaking about photography. Well, film is photography on steroids, where it's picture after picture after picture after picture that flashes in front of you. So the screen, you see an image and then it goes dark, image, dark, image, dark. And that is what video is. Then we watched a bunch of videos, and I took you a little bit through the history of video. It started with performance, or people documenting their performances, and then performing for the camera or with cameras. Chris Burden did this wacky thing where he was doing he was broadcasting his videos as commercials on television. We had these guys playing up or dressing up as JFK and reenacting his assassination again and again and again. So using the ideas of television while documenting their performance. This guy was very physical in editing his videos, where he was cutting and pasting and splicing film in his studio and really putting it together in a way to make these crude Hollywood special effects. This is where the video lecture didn't load. So I was talking about music videos in this, and we have Nancy Sinatra, These Boots Are Made for Walking. This was a video produced by Andy Warhol for the Cars. This was a video by the artist Pippilotti Rist, where she sings, performs in the video. Pretty good video. Pretty weird video. But she's using technology such as green screens and computer manipulation. At this point in the mid-90s became more accessible to artists in their studios. It wasn't just a Hollywood thing. Again, performing for the camera. This guy, Omar Fast, was taking clips of CNN and smashing them together to make a really weird storyline where it'd be a series of one news anchor saying one word, and another news anchor says another word, then another news anchor says another word, another news anchor takes a breath, and then another news anchor says another word. So it strings together and you get a story. And then this was an installation video that you guys missed, and I really encourage you to watch it. It's really incredible video. We talked about this hyperactive artist named Ryan Trecartin, who represents in my mind, a style of video making and artwork that has become popular in the 2000s. This sort of like YouTube generation, um, reality television show generation, where there's this mashup of characters to create a weirdo world. Um, really nice. This one was a really nice use of uh, this video iPod, where people were able to take a tour and follow along with the video as they walk around in the space and the artist directs you. Sculptures and video can a lot of times go together. So this is artist Tony Oursler, who was projecting his videos onto forms. This artist was projecting onto buildings. In this video, he's talking about homelessness in the city that the art was in, really bringing stories and faces to the public. And this is a really great guy who was who he used to do these art sort of like theoretical art talks on YouTube. He had this YouTube channel, and is always like super funny. Then we talked about the art of the day, Ryan Tricarton, that guy who does the hyperactive videos, and we saw some sculptures of his. And then we spoke about who did we talk about next? Chris Burden, who used video often in order to document performance. He's the guy who also did the commercials. So, but he was also known for making sculptures such as this one. So a performance where he was shot in the arm, crucified to a beetle, another sculpture. And so these are a couple of the videos that he made. Then the last artist, Pipilati Wrist, who makes a lot of video installations where you walk into the room and there's video all around. All right, so that's our review from last week. Now, this week, you have an assignment to make a sculpture. This is worth 10 points. It's assigned today, November 16th, and it is due on the 22nd of November, a week from now, Sunday, the following Sunday. So, it is time to hone your craft as an artist and find the artist within you. Is there an artist inside you screaming to get out? Have you ever made a sculpture? It's easy, I promise. This is the third of 3 artworks that you'll be making from home. There is no talent needed to complete the assignment, only time and patience. For this assignment, you are asked to make one ready-made sculpture. If you are not sure what a ready-made sculpture is, watch the lecture. I do go over ready-made sculptures in the lecture, so I particularly talk about Marcel Duchamp, who did the urinal, and he also did the wheel on top of a stool. So you'll be able to see that in the lecture. You are to find 3 dissimilar objects and recontextualize them by placing them together and making a sculpture. Your 3 objects should be found around your house and either stacked or arranged in order to make a new form. You then are asked to document your sculpture with your cell phone camera and turn that image in for the completed assignment. So, your requirements: find 3 dissimilar objects from around your house and arrange, attach, or fit them together. Try considering any of these items, but really you can use anything. Toys, fruit, shoes, sports equipment, kitchen supplies, food, newspaper, bathroom supplies. The list really can go on. The list is as long as what your creativity is. So I'm not asking you to destroy anything. I don't want you to take apart your little brother's action figures. But see if you can take these objects and, like I said, fit them together to create a single object, a single form. Grading. Each image is worth 10. Okay, grading. It is worth 10 points altogether. I will update the PDF. Okay, convert your image into a JPEG, PNG, or PDF file and upload it into the Make Art Sculpture folder on Blackboard. Post your images. That's option 1. Option 2, post your images to Instagram. If you already have Instagram, create a second account special to this class. You will need one anyway for the final project. From your profile, tap your name at the top of the screen. Select Add Account. Label each image with #assignment. In Blackboard, in the Turn-In folder, include a message where you share your handle with me. If you have any questions, send me an email, but I feel it is pretty straightforward. You're just taking 3 dissimilar objects, assembling them, putting them together, and making a different single object. And that single object is your sculpture. Do it for 10 points, and I hope you have fun. Now, lastly, I want to remind you that our museum essay is due next Sunday night, this coming Sunday night. So if you haven't gotten it done or started, now's the time to get it started and get it done. I went over this paper a long time ago where I explained that usually I have my students, such as you, go to the art museum, but we're not able to do that this semester. So instead, I want you to visit the collections of famous art museums virtually. You're going to select an artwork from one of those online art museums, art museum collections, and you're going to do a visual analysis and interpretation of it. That is essentially what you did for your midterm exam. It is okay to do the same thing for this essay as what you had done for the midterm exam. What is different between this essay and your midterm is that I am asking you to do a compare and contrast with this sculpture or with this artwork and 2 additional artworks. Now you can do a sculpture, a video, a painting, drawing, whatever, as long as it's on the digital archives in one of the museums. So here are all the content requirements. You may consider this a bit of an outline. It's not an outline per se, but make sure you hit every single point on this list, then you'll get full credit. I'm not an English professor, so I do not take off points for grammar per se, as long as I understand what you're writing. That's the only thing that matters. I will comment on your grammar, but I won't take off points for it. Alright, so here is a list of approved museums. We have the Art Institute of Chicago. Follow the link to the collection. The Museum of Contemporary Art in Chicago. Follow the link to the collection. The Whitney Museum of American Art in New York City. The Museum of Modern Art in New York City. The Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. The New Museum, also in New York. The Los Angeles County Museum of Art in LA. The Broad Museum in LA. The Louvre Museum in LA. You won't find contemporary art at the Louvre, but it is a world-class museum. If you're looking for, say you find an object that you want to compare to the Renaissance or to ancient Greek artwork, check out the Louvre. They've got quite the collection. The Tate Modern in London. What else? The Paris Museum of Modern Art in France. And then I talk about online library resources. When doing your research, be sure to use the available Harper Library resources found on the library's website. Search on Google Harper College Library. From the library website, select Research at the top of the screen. From that drop-down menu, select Databases. On the Databases page, scroll through Subjects menu on the top left corner. And scrolling down, just follow this list. ArtStore is a great resource. Your images can and should come from here if necessary. JSTOR is really good, but it can be a little bit academic. That is articles and other research papers. Oxford Art Online is probably your best resource for reading about a specific artist or artwork if you're going to go the online route. It's easy to navigate. This site is essentially an encyclopedia for art. It's way more credible than Wikipedia. Do not use Wikipedia as a primary source. Lastly, if you don't want to navigate each time to the online databases, try using this link. So that'll take you right there to the databases. All right, so this paper is worth 30% of your final grade. I'm going to ask you in the quiz for this week, what is the artwork that you are writing about? What is your primary artwork that you're writing about? And then I want to know what you are comparing it to. If you don't have the answers for that, figure them out now before you take the quiz. Email me if you have any questions. Have a wonderful week.